The job market just pulled off another plot twist. And this time, the punchline is cruel. 6 months, that's all it took. 6 months ago, workers were worried about ghost jobs, quiet firing, burnout attrition, and the corporate word salad of career cushioning. Today, the stage has shifted again, and the new buzzwords are just as dumb. But the stakes? Way higher. Fresh economic data, yes, the kind everyone now side-eyes like it's rigged, shows a brutal reality. Getting a job, keeping a job, or climbing inside a job has turned into a chokehold match. And once again, young workers, especially young men, are catching the worst elbow. Here's the headline shocker. For the first time ever, unemployment among young male college graduates is the same as non-graduates. Let that sink in. 4 years, 6 figures of debt, and you're still lining up with the guys who skipped freshman orientation. And it doesn't stop there. The share of unemployed people entering the job market for the first time, highest since 1988. Internships feed first jobs. Many firms cut or froze those programs. Fewer slots mean fewer on-ramps. New grads hit the market with no hours, then face roles that demand hours. Job mobility? Frozen solid. Nobody's moving. Nobody's climbing. Nobody's even breathing too loud in case the next round of layoffs hears them. What about ghost jobs? Real thing. The debate is how common they are. Ghost jobs are roles that employers list as open even though they're not actually trying to fill them. Listings stay live while headcount is frozen, or to stockpile resumes, or to look like a company is growing. A hiring freeze is not the same as a layoff. The budget exists on paper, but approvals are paused. Recruiters keep the post up, then nothing moves for weeks. It looks like demand. It acts like a wall. Greenhouse looked at its data. In any given quarter, 18 to 22% of the jobs posted on the Greenhouse platform are classified as ghost jobs. Business Insider reported the same range. Between 18 and 22% of jobs listed with it in 2024 never actually got filled. The Wall Street Journal called the hunt more soul-crushing than ever. That is what happens when you send hundreds of applications into roles that were never going to move. SHRM puts it as a question. The question is, are ghost posts nothing more than a media creation designed to rationalize a dismayingly sluggish hiring market, or are they actual practice? There is no clear answer, and the truth is likely somewhere in the murky middle. Revelio Labs found the hires per posting ratio fell from about 0.75 in 2018 to below 0.5 in 2023. Important note from SHRM. Ghost jobs are not the same as scam posts that try to steal identities. Different problem, different motive. Some posts are evergreen. The team hires for them all year and keeps the ad up to build a pipeline. That is not fake, but it feels the same to job seekers when replies never come. Applicant tracking systems screen most resumes before a human sees them. Simple keyword filters can block qualified people. If your resume does not match the exact phrasing, the system never surfaces you. That is why the inbox feels silent, even when you fit the role. You might be thinking, but wait, isn't unemployment still low overall? Exactly, that's the problem. A healthy unemployment rate hides the blood on the floor. It's like checking the scoreboard and saying the game looks fine while ignoring the fact that half your team is in the locker room with broken ankles. And if you thought this couldn't sting worse, brace yourself. Art history majors might be making more than you right now. Why? Because the almighty computer science degree has been humbled. New grads are finding out the hard way that AI just turned their once golden ticket into monopoly money.
So ever since you found out about AI, you've learned that your computer science degree is actually a complete joke?
Entry-level jobs are scarcer than they've been in a decade.
New college graduates are facing one of the most challenging markets for entry-level jobs in a decade.
Hiring managers push entry-level roles that ask for 3 years of experience. That is experience inflation. It shifts risk from the company to the applicant and squeezes new grads out of the queue. Listen to this from a frustrated graduate.
I'm about to call my school up and say that this degree that I spent 4 years trying to get, 4 years, was a waste of money.
That's not a random meltdown. That's the new chorus. College degrees are being clowned harder than an April Fool's prank. And here's the real talk. History shows this was predictable. Business analysts have a running joke. If you want to know which industry is about to collapse, just see where the Ivy League grads are stampeding. Oil and gas before the 1980s crash. Outsourcing before the Asian financial crisis. Early tech before the dot-com bust. Finance before the global financial crisis. And for the past decade, big tech. Hindsight is undefeated. No boom lasts forever. But here's the trap. When top-tier graduates rush in for those high-paying early careers, everybody else piles on. Regular students chase the same qualifications only to discover by the time they arrive, the jobs are gone. Overqualified, underemployed, stuck. For the past 10 years, the go-to advice for laid-off workers was simple. Just learn to code. Before that, go get an MBA. But here's the truth bomb. According to the Graduate Management Admissions Council, 2002, right after the dot-com crash, was the all-time peak of MBA enrollment. Thousands of workers desperate to revive stalling careers, and most just ended up stuck with debt. Fast forward to now, the new twisted advice? Don't go to college at all, because unemployment rates for graduates and non-graduates have leveled out. That data sparked headlines claiming the higher education payoff is over. The take was catchy, not careful. It oversimplifies a mess that's way deeper. Many big employers now post degree optional or skills first. That reset widens the applicant pool and puts grads and non-grads in the same line. It helps some candidates. It also dilutes the degree edge at the door. Yes, the graduate advantage is shrinking, but let's not bury the lead. College grads still earn more on average. Engineers still make more than unskilled laborers. But here's the catch. Earnings advantage doesn't mean survival advantage, because debt flips the math. A paycheck in your 20s with no debt often beats a bigger paycheck in your 30s when you're chained to student loan repayments. Each year, the equation looks worse. College as a 40-year investment starts to resemble buying a lottery ticket. And here's the gender twist inside the wrinkle. Graduates' crisis is hitting men hardest. Female graduates, their unemployment rate is still lower than men's. The gap hasn't just held, it's widening. Which raises the million-dollar question, why? Why are male grads slipping while female grads hold ground? Three forces, all pulling at once. First force, the pipeline shifted. For years, schools, companies, and governments pushed women into high-skill fields that need degrees. STEM, business, management. It worked. More talent joined the race. More resumes hit the same job postings. Same number of chairs, more players sprinting to set. Someone falls. Second force, the safe seats paid off. Nursing, education, care work. These careers look boring to clout chasers. They look golden to anyone who wants stability. Aging populations need care in every city. Demand stays high even when the economy chills. Culture told many men to chase prestige. Culture told many women to chase reliability. The market just rewarded reliability. Third force, the layoffs cut sideways. Tech slashed headcount. Women took a heavy hit. Layoffs.fyi data shared with reporters made it plain. Female staff accounted for 47% of dismissals between September and December 2022. That is near half in a sector that was not half female. HR, recruiting, and internal culture teams were first on the chopping block. Those teams skew female. That made the damage look even worse. None of this lives in a vacuum. Hiring cooled, promotions slowed. The old trick stopped working. For years, the best raise was a new job. Not today. The Bank of America Institute summed it up for the first time since 2010. Wage growth for job switchers equaled that of job stayers in May. Axios put it in plain English. Not anymore. Now, pay raises for those who switch employers are the same as for those who stick around. Money.com reinforced it using Atlanta Fed data. This advantage has vanished.
So people froze. No one wants to be the new hire when the next cut lands. The behavior has a name. Job hugging. Grab your role, squeeze it. Do not move. Watch how the data rhymes. New workers are hitting a wall at the door. Axios again, the share of unemployed Americans that are new to the workforce is at a 37-year high. That is the highest since the late 80s. You feel it in every "we'll be in touch" that never replies. Pay compression makes the spread between new hires and veterans shrink. When switching no longer pays and promotions slow, everyone earns closer to the same band. It feels fair on paper and unfair in life. Quick pit stop. We need clarity on the big, shiny number everyone quotes, the unemployment rate. It looks fine. It hides pain. The unemployment rate only counts you if you're jobless and still looking. People who stop looking vanish from the metric. That's why you can't stare at one line and think you see the whole picture. The BLS reminds us every year that education still pulls people into the labor force more often. People with a bachelor's degree or higher participate in the labor force about 72%. High school graduates with no college sit in the mid-50s. So yes, degrees still help, but the early career math feels worse when debt bites first and earnings show up later. Now the twist you didn't expect. Arts grads might be beating some tech hopefuls right now. Why? Risk tolerance. Arts jobs are not hot money, they're long slog roles. People who take them tend to stay put. They stack experience. They become hard to replace. When the market punishes movement, the statue wins. The history lesson is cruel but useful. In every cycle, the advice machine points people toward the last boom. Learn to code. Before that, go get an MBA. The pattern repeats. People chase last decade's boom, then the music stops. Now comes the gender wrinkle inside the wrinkle. When women step into sexy fields like tech during hot cycles, they get hit harder when the music stops. Another angle from Axios in 2023 backed the same story with layoffs.fyi data and added the department detail. HR and recruiting went first. Those seats skew female. That made the damage look even worse. So where's the move for men who are stuck? Counter-program the culture. The University of Texas sociologist Christine Williams called it the glass escalator back in the early 90s. Men who enter female-dominated fields often rise faster. It's not fair, it's real. Hospitals still hire, schools still hire. Physical demands in care work can favor men on certain shifts. You can be useful, you can be valued, you can advance. Cue the mic check. Don't pick a path only because a video told you to. Healthcare and teaching are serious work. Lives and kids are not props. But don't let a business school clown shame you either. In a storm, stable ships matter more than fast jets.
Quick glove touch to the algorithm before we push deeper. Tap like, smash subscribe, and ring the bell so this reaches one more grad who needs a map. Now, let's talk about why the low unemployment headline still feels like bad news at home. The BLS revised job growth down by 911,000 between March 2024 and March 2025. That is not a rounding error. That is a hole in the floor. August added only 22,000 jobs. Job openings fell to 7.2 million in July. The scoreboard says the game is fine. The crowd can see the bench is empty. So what do you do when the ladder breaks? You build a ramp. Let's get blunt. The game board flipped, and the old moves don't score anymore. If you're stepping into the workforce right now, you need different plays. 3 pivots can keep you from being the rookie benched before the season starts. First pivot. Hunt the sectors that can't freeze. Healthcare, education, infrastructure. These fields are not glamorous. They will not make your LinkedIn bio glow. But they hire. They keep hiring. America's population is aging fast. The Census Bureau shows that by 2030, about 1 in 5 Americans will be 65 or older. That means more demand for nurses, therapists, caregivers, and support staff. Roads, power grids, and housing need maintenance no matter what the Fed does. Teachers remain short in nearly every state. Safe sectors might not wow your friends. They keep your bills paid. Second pivot. Skills over titles. Forget chasing labels. Forget the vanity of "I work at X." Ask, what skills stack up? What skills do not expire? Example, coding for trendy apps got oversaturated, but data literacy, cybersecurity basics, AI ethics, those skills are sticky. They work across fields. Employer surveys show a shift towards skills-based hiring. Deloitte reports many leaders say recent grads are not fully prepared, and companies are putting more weight on skills than titles. Build skills that survive trends. Third pivot, flex the stigma. Remember the glass escalator effect? Men who enter female-dominated fields often find promotions faster. It is a loophole in the system. Nursing, teaching, care work, these have been framed as women's jobs. That framing is fading, but while it lingers, men who choose these roles often climb ladders quicker. Christine Williams' 1992 University of Texas study proved it. Decades later, the pattern still holds. You can treat that stigma as a shortcut. Now, let's pause on the cultural landmine, diversity hiring. For years, companies bragged about hitting 50-50 targets, placing women in HR, marketing, and corporate culture roles. Those roles became first to cut in downturns. Axios reported that from October 2022 to June 2023, women accounted for 45% of tech layoffs, despite being only 28% of the workforce. That is not fair math. That is reality. And companies are now swinging hard the other way, quietly gutting diversity initiatives they hyped only 2 years ago. This back and forth leaves everyone exposed. Men judged harshly for stepping into low-prestige roles. Women judged harshly in high-performance slots. HR whisper networks making final calls on layoffs. It all adds up to chaos that looks personal, but is really structural. Meanwhile, Gen Z is feeling the choke. Axios summed it. Young people are more likely to be unemployed today than in the last 37 years. Gen Z men with college degrees now have the same unemployment rate as non-grads, a sign that the higher education payoff is dead. Yahoo Finance also confirmed it. U.S. college grads are now jobless at roughly the same rate as non-grads, and young men are most impacted. That's not a cycle, that's a new normal. Here's the twist. Even the old "just wait it out" doesn't land anymore. Normally, after a downturn, job hoppers get rewarded when growth returns. But as Bank of America and the Atlanta Fed both confirmed this year, that premium is gone. Switching jobs no longer gives bigger raises. Axios called it flat out, not anymore. So workers are locking in. They're hugging like their rent depends on it, because it does. And what about higher education? The math keeps souring. The average federal student loan balance sits near $39,000. NACE's summer 2025 report shows starting pay is mixed, with some majors flat or down. That means the old promise, invest now, earn later, looks like a scam when your loan payment is higher than your rent. This is why new grads sound bitter on TikTok, roasting their own degrees. The receipts say it better than I could. I make fun of my college degree all the time. 4 years was a waste of money. That is not one person venting, that is a generational mood. Quick jab to the algorithm before we swing to the final round. Tap like, hit subscribe, and tell me in the comments if you'd still go to college if you were graduating today. Because the outro lesson is this: the job market isn't just changing again, it's breaking its own rules. And the ones who survive won't be the ones who follow old advice. It'll be the ones who treat every buzzword, every trend, every safe bet with suspicion and pivot when the next twist comes. The job market loves to reinvent itself, but this round feels different. The safe paths are cracking, the risky bets aren't paying. Even the golden rules like switch jobs for more money or get a degree and you'll be fine are getting ripped up in real time. That leaves us staring at a bigger question. If the ladder's broken and the escalator is jammed, how do you climb at all? The answer might be uglier than we want to admit. You don't play by the old rulebook. You study where the pressure builds, where the gaps open, and you slip through before the herd notices. Because if history shows us anything, it's that the next safe career advice will show up right when it's already too late. So lace up, keep receipts,
Build skills that last longer than the latest buzzword. And when the market swerves again, and it will, you won't be caught hugging a job like it's a life raft. You'll already be paddling toward the next shore. Until next time, fam, peace.